Last summer, my friends and I played hide and seek deep in the woods behind Jake's house. It was almost sunset, and the trees cast long shadows. I found a perfect spot behind a fallen log and waited, heart pounding. I heard footsteps crunching leaves nearby. I held my breath until I saw Jake walking the opposite way. The footsteps didn't stop. They got closer. I peeked over the log expecting one of my friends, but it wasn't anyone I knew. A man stood there, tall, dirty, eyes wide. He smiled and whispered, "Found you." I screamed and ran. When I told the others, they swore they never saw anyone else. I had a nightmare last night. I was lying in bed when I heard footsteps downstairs. In the dream, someone shattered the glass door and crept inside. I couldn't move. I just listened as the footsteps got closer. Then I woke up, heart pounding. I sighed in relief, just a dream. Then I heard it, real glass shattering. My blood ran cold. The footsteps came again, slow and steady, just like the dream. I grabbed my baseball bat from under the bed and held my breath. The door creaked open. I swung hard. A loud scream followed. Lights flicked on. It was my neighbor, Eric. He'd been drinking, thought this was his house. The dream saved me, but I still lock every door twice now. I woke up at 3 a.m. with an uneasy feeling, like something was off. My room was quiet, but in the far corner, I saw a dark figure. It wasn't moving, just standing there, watching. At first, I thought it was my eyes adjusting, maybe a shadow, but then it took a step forward, slowly, then another. I couldn't move. It didn't make a sound, just crept toward me like it was gliding. My heart was pounding so loud I thought it would wake the house. I reached out, shaking, and flicked on the lamp. Instantly, the figure vanished. The corner was empty. I didn't sleep again that night, and now every night before bed, I glance at that corner. Sometimes I still see something move. For weeks, I felt like I was being watched, not constantly, just sometimes, always from a distance, across the street, at the edge of the woods, a man in dark clothes, never moving, never approaching, just watching. I told myself I was imagining it, until last night. I was in the kitchen, lights off, just staring out the back window. And there he was, standing in my backyard, still as ever, but closer than he's ever been. I froze. And then he sprinted toward the house. I backed away as he slammed against the glass of the back door, banging hard, once. Then he ran, vanished into the dark. When I finally worked up the courage to open the door, I looked down. Lying on the mat was my missing spare key. It was Halloween, and I was trick-or-treating alone. Most houses were empty, but one had a guy standing perfectly still in the yard. He looked just like that clown from Terrifier. Pale face, black lips, blood around his neck. I thought it was a decoration until he tilted his head at me. I laughed nervously and walked faster. A few blocks later, I turned around. He was still behind me. No kids, no candy, just him. I ran. When I got home, I locked the door and turned off the lights. 10 minutes later, I heard tapping on the window. Then the doorknob rattled. I called the cops shaking. When they arrived, he was standing at the edge of my yard, still smiling. They searched, but he was gone. I don't trick or treat alone anymore. I asked to use the bathroom during fourth period. As I walked in, the intercom buzzed. "This is a lockdown. This is not a drill." My blood ran cold. I rushed into the last stall, locked it, and stood on the toilet. Minutes passed. Then footsteps, slow, creaking. Someone entered, stood silently, then walked out. I waited, heart racing, then made a break for the janitor's closet in the corner. As I slipped inside, my shoulder knocked over a mop bucket with a loud clang. Seconds later, I heard running. Then bang, bang, bang on the closet door. Whoever it was pounded like they knew I was in there. Then silence. He ran off. We were found safe an hour later. No one ever found out who was in the building. It was just after recess when I noticed him. A man in black standing by the fence near the playground. At first I thought he was a parent until I saw him motioning to one of the younger kids. I froze when the child actually walked toward him. I dropped my clipboard and sprinted. The man grabbed the kid's arm and started pulling them toward a dented white van parked just beyond the lot. I shouted and he locked eyes with me. Cold, empty, like he wasn't fully human. He let go and bolted. The van peeled out seconds later. We called the police, of course. But the part that still keeps me up? The next morning, there were muddy boot prints outside my classroom door. I used to date this guy, Tyler. He seemed normal at first, charming, funny, but after we broke up, he got weird. He started showing up where I worked, leaving notes on my car, texting from unknown numbers. I blocked him everywhere. One night, I came home to find my bedroom window open. I live on the second floor. Nothing was taken, but my favorite hoodie, his hoodie, was folded neatly on my bed. I hadn't seen it in months. I moved the next week. New apartment, new locks. A month later, I got a letter in my mailbox. No return address. Just 6 words written in his handwriting. Looks safe. For now, I was walking alone in the woods just before sunset. It was quiet until I heard faint footsteps behind me. I stopped. They stopped. "Hello," I called out. No response. I started walking faster. So did the steps. I picked up the pace, heart pounding. The footsteps grew louder, closer. I broke into a sprint toward my car, and whatever was following me did the same. Branches snapped all around me. I didn't look back. I dove into my car, locked the doors, and started it with shaking hands. In the side mirror, I saw him, a man standing still, holding an axe. I floored it. I've never gone back, and I never will. I was on my computer playing games in the dark when the power suddenly went out. Everything went dead. Monitor, lights, total silence. A second later, I heard my backyard gate creak open. I froze. Then the unmistakable sound of my back door slowly opening. Footsteps echoed through the house. I crawled under my bed, heart pounding, and called 911 as quietly as I could. While I whispered to the dispatcher, the footsteps got closer. They stopped right outside my bedroom door. The handle turned, but it was locked. He slammed the door once, hard, then silence. In the distance, I heard police sirens. Fast footsteps raced down the hallway, fading, gone. When the cops arrived, the back door was still wide open. Last night, around 2 a.m., my daughter came into my room crying. "Daddy," she whispered, "there's a monster under my bed." I was half asleep, but got up and walked her back to her room. I told her it was probably just a bad dream, but she begged me to look. I knelt down, lifted the blanket, and looked underneath. That's when I saw her, my daughter, curled up, eyes wide, whispering through tears, "Daddy, that thing in my bed isn't me." My heart dropped. I didn't move. I turned slowly to the daughter standing behind me. She wasn't crying anymore. Her face was blank, but her smile was wrong, unmoving, almost like it was drawn on. She took one step toward me, then stopped, just staring. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. In the morning, she acted like nothing had happened, but I still don't know which one is really my daughter, or if either of them is.